Please be seated. Welcome, and at this time, if I could ask everyone to turn off their cell phones, including the stage party. They're actually pretty disruptive to the sound system. And if I could also point out to the graduates that we will have a photographer, if you weren't here for the rehearsal last night, that will be taking pictures as you come off the stage, and there is an X marked with tape right at the base of the stairway. So if you could pause briefly for a photo as you exit the stage after you've reached your congratulatory phase of receiving your diploma. We also want to thank our band, the Just Playing Jazz Band, led by Douglas Lentz. And we will now have a soloist who is amongst our graduates tonight with an Associate of Arts degree, Ms. Brenna Gebhardt, come forward to join a part of the band for a presentation of the Alaska Flag Song. Thank you.
Eight stars of gold on a field of blue, Alaska's flag, may it mean to you the blue of the sea, the evening sky, the mountains, lakes, and the flowers nearby, the golds of the early sourdough streams, the precious gold of the hills and streams, the brilliant stars in a northern sky, the bear, the dipper, and shining high, the great North Star with its steady light, o'er land and sea, a beacon bright, Alaska's flag to Alaskan steer, a simple flag of a last frontier.
Thank you, Brenna. That's very nice. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our stage party for the members of the audience. Starting on the end of the podium at my left is Dr. Brian McLean, who is the Assistant Director of the Matanuska-Susitna College. Seated next to him is Dr. John Petritis of the UAA College of Arts and Sciences. Seated next to him is Dean Ron Spatz of the Anchorage Honors College, who has done tremendous things to bring the Honors College program to our campus in the last year. Seated next to him is Dr. Karen Schmidt, Dean of Community and Technical College in Anchorage. Next to her is the Acting Dean of the School of Health, the College of Health, Dean William Hogan. And seated next to Dean Hogan is the Senior Vice Provost of the University of Alaska Anchorage and an exceptional gold miner, Renee Carter Chapman. Then our featured speaker tonight, who I'll introduce a little bit more, Dr. Sven Haakonsen, and seated next to him is Regent Powers from Fairbanks, visiting us today on behalf of the Board of Regents, and then Chancellor Case, of whom more I will say a little bit later. I would like to welcome all of you to this graduation. I think it's important to take a moment to recognize our veterans serving and active and past who have served our country and are protecting us, and also to recognize at the same time the passing of two key people with the development of this college. Former Director Al Okeson, who was the longest serving director and really the founder of the actual college in many ways, passed away within a few weeks of the founding director of the college, Dr. Kleepesaddle, in Palmer this winter. So if we could take a moment to recognize both the service of those two gentlemen and our veterans across the world today, I would ask for that just a moment. Thank you. And one other thing I would like to recognize is we have a retiring faculty member, Professor Suzanne Bach, who has done so much for our college, especially the founding of our Mockatons Art Festival, which has become a signature event for our college. And I believe she is here tonight, right here. If you could stand and take a bow, Professor Bach. Our college slogan, as it appears on your program and at the entry to our college, simply says, "Opportunities start here." 54 years ago, this college began to become the source of community stability when this borough was quite small compared to its present population, and changes have been occurring constantly in the expectations of what we can do with this place. 40 years ago, in 1972, our graduation was held at the regular noon meeting of the Palmer Chamber of Commerce. It was a ceremony that was actually quite brief because we had a total of 2 graduates that day. Director Okeson and then President of the University, William Ransom Wood, presided over the ceremony. There was some confusion over the status of the second student. The first one was clearly the valedictorian, but was the second student the salutatorian, second in his class, or last in his class? We have grown considerably from that day. What people want out of the college varies tremendously. I saw part of a graduation speech given years ago where the speaker asserted that what a good education is really about is being able to better cope with boredom, routine, and petty frustration of the real life afterwards. That statement troubles me, but he may have had a point. For example, one day when I was making my rounds at the college, I approached a group of students who I was pleased to see seemed intently focusing on what I mistakenly believed to be serious study. In fact, as I approached them, it turned out that their intense focus was on a video game. Unfazed by my presence, I was invited to offer my thoughts, and apparently the relevant hypothetical question of the moment was, "Sir, do you think a Klingon with Kevlar could defeat a ninja?" I suppose an argument could be made that such computer games are a method of coping. I take some comfort in knowing that's a rare event to encounter that particular type of response to a question from me. People do very good things at this college. I prefer instead to look to a classic for inspiration. The Village Blacksmith poem by Henry Longfellow has a refrain in it: "Toiling, rejoicing, sorrowing, onward through life we go. Each morning sees some task begin, each evening sees it close. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose." The blacksmith in the poem has a tough life. He's a widower, but every day he gets up and goes to his job. He pays the bills, someone takes care of the work, and he gets it done. He earns his night's rest. We are pausing after a lot of long nights and hard work by our students, and I know our faculty and staff are very proud of you. You've done something significant. You've learned what it means to work hard and be rewarded for it. It doesn't end tomorrow. Learning to cope with life's problems is not the end of the story. The end of the story is now you are better prepared to go forward and keep on working and hopefully achieve better and bigger things. Opportunities do start here. We think that you recognize that, and certainly many more people do from the days when we had 2 graduates at this ceremony. Now I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about the next speaker very briefly. Chancellor Tom Case grew up in the high deserts of eastern Oregon. He graduated from high school in a small town known as Baker City, not unlike many of the towns in our own borough. Early on, he showed evidence of being highly disciplined and well-rounded. He was a track star, and some of his records remain in place in his high school. It is rumored that Latin was his favorite subject, or at least his Latin teacher was his favorite teacher. With this unique combination of Latin skills and athletic skills, he obtained an appointment to the United States Air Force Academy. He graduated from our Air Force Academy in 1969. However, he did not just graduate. I have it on excellent authority that a new first-year, fourth-class cadet arrived in Chancellor Case's last year at the college, and one of the things all cadets were expected to memorize amongst the certain crucial facts that every cadet was expected to know was the name of Tom Case, the cadet wing commander, which translates to basically the top student in the academy. He was, amongst our nation's finest students, one of the best, even at that point in his life. It was only the beginning of a spectacular career and a long marriage. He married shortly thereafter and has been married for 42 years, an accomplishment by himself. If you Google the right site and look up Tom Case, you will find a photo of a recently graduated United States Air Force cadet who looks remarkably like Clark Gable with a dark mustache. In fact, that handsome pilot went on very quickly to become something of a hero to our nation in Vietnam. He had the difficult and certainly important job of being a forward air controller, which basically was to take small airplanes into enemy territory and tell the bigger planes behind you where to go. A very dangerous and crucial job, a highly vulnerable job. He served with distinction. There is a long list of medals that he won. He was rapidly promoted. In searching for a comparison for a rapid promotion such as his, the only one I could quickly find that was comparable was General Custer was promoted to a 2-star general at a very young age, but that ended badly. Chancellor Case not only got one more star, 3 stars, but to my knowledge was never responsible for a military debacle and retired with full honors. If all of that were not enough, Chancellor Case started a new career in education and became the Dean of the University of Alaska School of Business, and eventually reached the point where he holds the position he does today as the Chancellor of the University of Alaska Anchorage. It was with great pleasure that I introduce a track star who learned Latin in a small town in the deserts of eastern Oregon and became a scholar, a husband of 42 years, a veteran, and my boss, Chancellor Tom Case.
Well, Tallis exaggerates somewhat. I do have to fess up for my track record still standing. The main reason for that is I was just before the switch from yards to meters. So that's one way to do it. I want to tell you how grateful I am for the opportunity to share this wonderful evening with you tonight. There's so much to celebrate. For the faculty, you have done just a marvelous job in shaping lives, changing lives, providing opportunities for students of all ages and all phases of life to have opportunities that they might not have otherwise had, and you should be feeling really good about that. For the graduates, you have accomplished something truly remarkable. You have stayed the course, you have gotten to graduation ready to go on to your next opportunities. And you would be the first to tell people you didn't do that alone. There were a lot of people around you who helped. So to the families, friends, and all the people there who help students get through these challenging tasks that they had to accomplish, thank you, and I know they thank you as well. I do want to also recognize the community who does so much to support this college, engaged with the college. You make a tremendous difference. Record attendance at Mat-Su College, and also tonight, record graduation of 146 students. That's really remarkable. And you're really on the right track, so to speak, because 54 students have made the Stay on Track, Finish in 4 promise to complete 30 credits a year, to choose a major, see an advisor, and do the other smart steps that will allow finishing a degree on time. You've also been very high achievers. The Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society is in its 3rd year. And a total of 41 new members were added this year. to that. The alumni are so important to any university, and that's true of this one as well. And there are Mat-Su College alumni in the audience tonight, and I understand they're wearing blue ribbons, and you've had an active alumni outreach through your newsletter and web page, and I salute you. You play an important role in the institution. That's right. That's good. Your advancement and marketing department in the college has just been incredible. And I'm not just engaging in hyperbole. I've got data to back that up. Recipient of the 27th Annual Merit Educational Advertising Award for Mat-Su College's newspaper advertising single ad spring registration. That's a national award. And then the 7th Annual International Davy Silver Award and the National Award, Communicator Award for Excellence for the Day in the Life video commercial. That's national and international accomplishment, so congratulations, makes a big difference. And talk about community engagement. Last year, more than 200 people participated in the first annual Makatons Art Festival, and the second festival is scheduled soon in June. Very appropriate for a Halloween event. You had a blood drive that was a great contribution to the community. That was very good. And you also realize that capturing the imagination and inspiring young people is what gets them to college. And so the elementary school program book reading, I Know I Can, to students in elementary school. Many of you participated in that. The staff talk about their careers with 8th graders in the Mat-Su Borough School District, middle school career talk, and you are doing such great work. I am so proud of you, and I know that you are going to go forth to a continued life of engaged learning, and you're going to make a difference for this world. So to you graduates and to all those who support them, congratulations. I'm very, very proud of you.
Before I introduce our commencement speaker today, there's a bit of housekeeping regarding the biography of the man that I dare to call my friend, Dr. Sven Håkansson. I made an error in the biography that went in your program. While he is a graduate of Harvard University twice, he did not go there as an undergraduate, a fact that is central to his life and important to our university because he, in fact, is a graduate of the University of Alaska Fairbanks as well as Harvard. On more than one level, he is actually one of us, and he is a University of Alaska alum. It has come to my attention also tonight that we, by coincidence, are having a competition with this graduation and the premiere of the Johnny Depp film, Dark Shadows. We were worried that we might be missing some people as a result of the first showing being tonight, starting right about now. Our official position is that competition is good, we can handle it. Dr. Sven Håkansson, Jr. has journeyed far in life. He started being born in Old Harbor on Kodiak Island and eventually did end up at Harvard University, where he had a PhD in anthropology as his terminal degree. Today, he is an executive director for the Alutiiq Museum back in his home island of Kodiak. In 2007, he was named a national international winner of the MacArthur Genius Fellowship and received that prestigious award for his work reviving the heritage of Alutiiq, Alaska. He has lectured in Paris and Yale, amongst many other venues. He has been on the board of the First Alaskans Institute, the Alaska Humanities Forum, the Alaska Native Science Commission, the Western Museums Association, and the Alaska State Council of the Arts. He is, in his own right, a genuine artist and always has a sketch pad and is an award-winning carver of traditional Alaskan masks. He was instrumental in arranging the Ginakuk Like a Face mask exhibit, which repatriated original Alaskan native masks from France, where they somehow ended up back to Alaska and Kodiak in 2008. His story alone of that is like an Indiana Jones movie starring Dr. Håkansson. As I would have expected, there was a buzz around my office about the visit of Dr. Håkansson to our college for this commencement. However, even though I have known him for about 10 years, I had not been entirely aware of all the facts concerning his life. I should have known that the inordinate interest of my staff on Dr. Hawkinson's background was not purely academic or intellectual in nature. Eventually, they shared with me the fascinating news that in addition to his other accomplishments, in 2007, People magazine named him as the sexiest anthropologist in America. Combined with this heart-melting quote, if that wasn't bad enough, quote, "I have lived in Siberia in primitive conditions. The thing I can't live without is my family. Everything else I can do without." Oh my. I have since learned that Dr. Hawkinson has also been an adjunct instructor at the Kodiak campus, our sister college, where I am informed by a reliable source, enrollment skyrocketed in the 20 to 40-year-old female demographic. Although most are only auditing the class. So I leave you with this. Dr. Hawkinson is more than a match for Johnny Depp tonight. Please help me welcome Alaska's own Indiana Jones, Dr. Sven Hawkinson.
Now that Talis has sufficiently embarrassed me. Thank you, Talis, for that introduction. It's a real honor for me to be here. In fact, this is the first commencement speech I've ever given. But Koyan Natalis, for the honor to give the commencement speech here at Mat-Su College. I want to congratulate each of you for the hard work you've put into your education, your future. No one can ever take this away from you. No one. But you know this. This is one more stage in your life that you will look back on later with honor. I did that. You did that. Right now, I know you just want to get done, go see the movie, get your paper, and celebrate, right? Congratulations. Chamai, azichtenka. Hello, how are you? Hui Sven Hawkinson, sunnami itlach. I am Sven Hawkinson, and I live on Kodiak. I am Sukhbiat, Norwegian, Danish, and Dena'ina. It's a wonderful mix of a northern people. Like I learned today at the Colony House Museum, the families that settled this area in the 1930s are also of Scandinavian heritage. For me, that was a wonderful part to discover because it gave me a connection to the families here because I also have half Scandinavian descent as well. You can find links to each other no matter how different you think you are. And that's the wonderful thing about history. I was born on Kodiak Island, and I grew up in the village of Old Harbor, where I'm as local as the dirt on Kodiak. And it's an island surrounded by the ocean, inhabited by the largest carnivorous animal in North America, if not the world. There are a lot of bears there. But mind you, they're just as scared of us as we are of them. They do taste good, though, if you prepare them right. I learned the hard way. You make sure to don't eat the meat right away, because it'll go right through you. My wife won't ever eat bear again. Our standard wear is extra tough boots, rain gear, Helly Hansens, and an extra layer of clothes in the summer and another layer in the winter. It's a beautiful place, as I see it is here too. I digress. The mountains that surround you are amazing. I drove by here so many times when I was an undergraduate in Fairbanks without stopping to see them. Today I did just that, but I had help as I was listening to Talis this afternoon talk about each of the mountains he hiked as a high school student and a challenge to himself. Can you imagine Talis hiking each of these mountains? It's pretty amazing. But the Talkeetna and Chugach Mountains, Pioneer, Mat-Su, looking over you, each one has a story, and I bet each one of you can find a story or from something from another family member about each of these mountains and what they mean to you. And that's part of what links us all together. For example, Talis shared with me today about hiking up Mat-Su. Him and a friend decided that they were going to go and light a fire at the top of it. And they packed up logs of wood. By the time they got up to the top, they only had 4 logs. And he found out that it's really hard to light a fire in the rain. So that's wonderful because, you know, it's crazy brave in doing something in a lifetime that creates a lot of stories and laughs. Things you can look back and say, well, that was crazy, but I can laugh about it. Lessons in life of what you learn. When you have someone with such passion, it is contagious. I always love visiting with Talis. Life is exciting at every turn because you never know what you'll discover or what he'll discover about you. I recommend that you surround yourselves with such friends. Your life will be that much richer. I was lucky enough to be raised where my ancestors have lived for over 7,500 years. I am really local as the dirt there. They arrived by skin-cover boats, hunting, fishing, living as we continue to do today. And I hope that this will continue forever. I also hope, too, that one day your future ancestors, your family, will be able to say the same in 7,500 years. And my family will say that in 15,000 years.